Good morning, everyone. This is Alexander Mansarata reporting for psychological test. In recruitment and selection, a human resources practitioner should use psychological tests to screen the applicants for domestic and overseas contract work. And for selection of candidates for office government positions, most of the human resources functions can radically change the success and effectiveness of organization. NYNEX or New York slash New England reported that it had carefully screened and tested 60,000 applicants to fill 3,000 open positions. Chemical Bank for New York reported that it had to test and interview 40 job applicants for everyone found suitable for training as a bank teller. So it says here na sobrang importante nung pagkakaroon ng recruitment and selection. Kasi dito tinitignan yung capability ng bawat empleyado o ng mga bawat nag apply sa isang company. Na dito din nasusukat kung ano ba yung kakayanan nila at ano ba yung kaya nilang i-contribute sa company. Some companies do not use psychological testing and only rely their hiring decisions on face-to-face interview with the applicant. A job applicant that looks smarter on their attire and has a good command in English communication will be the basis either they are hired or not. Small business rely on some documents and clearances to determine if the job applicant has a derogatory or criminal records such as NBI clearance, police clearance, and barangay clearance. So sa ibang company naman, hindi sila particular sa mga or detalyado sa mga hinahanap nila sa isang empleyado. They are more on physical attribute. Kumbaga, kung ano yung kayang ibigay ni empleyado, doon sila magre-rely. So, if the employee has the ability to communicate well with other people, pwede na din siyang makapasok. Yung iba naman, nakadepende rin naman sa records ng kanyang personality, kung siya ba ay may mga criminal records ba at kung pagka pumasok ba siya sa company, hindi ba makakasira ng reputasyon ng kanilang company. So, these are the things na ginagawa kapag ka magkakaroon ng recruitment and selection. The next one is psychological testing covers a wide series of testing together with the personality test and cognitive ability. It helps the people managers on hiring decisions when information from character references is neither meaningful nor significant enough to consider. Various psychologists of the late 19th century viewed the application of psychological testing to the problems of business and industry was ridiculous. The use of pen and pencil psychological tests in human resources was essentially non existent prior to the beginning of the 20th century. Walter Deal, Scott, and Hugo Mansberg advocated the exploration of psychological principles to applied problems. So dito naman, sinasabi dito sa personality test na dito tinitignan yung ah, yung kakayanan ng isang tao, kung kilala ba niya yung sarili niya, kung ano ba yung ability niya. So dito masusukat ang kakayanan ng isang tao. And dito din nalalaman kung kilala mo ba ang sarili mo, kung ah, after after mo ba dito mag-work is do you still know yourself and do you still know kung ano yung capability kaya mong ibigay sa company. So while naman sa cognitive, dito sinasabi na yung karunungan ng isang tao na um, kaya niyang gawin yung mga bagay na kailangan niyang gawin. So, sabi nga dito sa 19th century daw, ang ginagamit before is yung pen and pencil. So, dito, ito daw yung mga naunang way o yung pamamaraan ng pag-check o yung pagkakaroon ng personality test or psychological testing. The next one is the reliability and validity involved in employment test. A method that some companies employ to support their selection decisions is called employment test. It is an instrument that seeks to gauge certain characteristics of an applicant by simulation workout and pen and pencil test. Validity is described when the employment test determines what it declares to determine or measure. For example, if an employment test says that it measures managerial and leadership skills, then it should have strong validation evidence to back up this claim. Assessor and the hiring managers will want read the validation report and weigh up its relative integrity and strength. So sa validity daw, kung halimbawa may nakikitaan ka ng parang managerial and leadership skills, kailangan makita 'yon. Kailangan maging ma-valid siya kung gaano ba katotoo yung ah, sinasabi ng yung sa exam, yung sa pag-take ng interview. So, dito naman din daw sa assessor, sa managers daw, i-assess daw nila kung gaano katotoo yung pagkakaroon ng or yung pag-take ng psychological test. We can observe that there is reliability on employment tests when tests are unfailingly repeatable. For example, if the subject took the employment test today, got and have result and then repeat it again after several days or week later, the result should relatively the same or consistent. So sa reliability naman daw, sinasabi dito na for example, nag-exam ka today, after a week or two, kailangan ganun pa rin. Kailangan may consistency yung answer mo. That way, mas makikita nila na kilala mo yung sarili mo, alam mo yung capability mo as a person. So, that would be an additional point or a reason para makapasok ka sa isang magandang company. Validity testing requires the inputs of experts or licensed psychometric that will help and provides experimental support for the job relatedness of the assessment skills. Employment tests must be validated first before implementing to achieve the confidence, consistency, accuracy, and avoid biases by considering the norms of target respondents. So dito naman sa validity, ano yung sinasabi diyan, licensed psychometric. Itong sa licensed psychometric, sila yung nagbabasa kung gaano ka-accurate yung pagsagot mo doon sa iyong psychological test. Dito din masusukat nila na kailangan mong patunayan na yung sinagot mo doon sa psychological test ay makikita sa personality mo. That way, mas mapapatunayan na kilala mo yung sarili mo and you are reliable at the same time, you'll be valid to accept on a certain position or as a whole to accept in the company. So all in all, yung pagkakaroon ng psychological test ay very important kasi dito tinitignan yung kakayanan ng bawat empleyado na makapasok sa isang company. And that way also, mas malalaman ng mga hiring managers kung saan kayo ilalagay, ano yung positions na mas nababagay sa inyo, at kung saan nurture yung capability nyo as an employee. Kasi sa pagkakaroon pa lang ng psychological test, mas makikita mo na din kung ano ba yung future, ano ba yung um, magiging future mo dun sa company and how will the company will nurture your ability. So, yung validity at saka yung reliability are very important when taking up a psychological exam. That's all. Thank you.
So, ayan po, ang report ko po ay about sa forms of employment tests. There is a variety of employment tests that can be used for selecting employees. So, yun nga, yun, para masubok yung isang employee, kaya, madaming silang testing or test na gagamitin para ma-evaluate yung skills niya or knowledge niya. So, the sort of employment test that is ultimately employed will depend on a number of aspects. So, yun, before magamit yung isang employment test, kailangan sundin mo na yung mga aspetong ito. including the budgetary or financial constraints of the company. So yan, una dapat isaalang-alang nila yung budget kung kaya bang i-handle ng company para ma-proceed yung isang test or hindi. Next is the density or difficulty of the job or career. O yun, dito kasi masasala natin o makikita natin kung yung employment test pa sakto doon sa individual or employee na pinagtetesting nga natin. The size of applicant populations in relation to their aptitudes. Yon, kung ano yung bilang yun ng mga applications o yung mga employee. Tapos learn capabilities and other distinctiveness required by the job. So yan nga, kung ano yung mga kapabilidad or yung kakayahan ng isang employee bago niya magawa yung isang test na yun. Dapat alamin muna natin lahat ng mga iyon. Kasi nga minsan 'di ba, nakikita minsan hindi pala kaya ng employee yun o hindi niya sakop yung test na yun pero pinagawa natin sa kanya, ibig sabihin pa lang dun na siya babagsak na agad. Yun nga, kasi hindi natin nakita yung learning capabilities ng isang employee. Kaya dapat before tayo mag-conduct ng isang testing, makita muna natin yun sa nila, sa kakayahan nila. Next po is job sample performance test. Nandito naman sa job sample performance test, ito na yung mga ginagamit na testing para ma-measure or ma-test yung isang employee tungkol sa kanyang kakayahan, yung mga ganun. From the word na performance test, kung ano yung kakayahan ng isang employee or capabilities na kaya niyang gawin sa or kung pasok pa siya, parang evaluation form. Yan. Una is simulation test for aspiring managers. A standardized set of memos, requests, and policies and so on that must be interpreted before making an optimal decision about the issues and scenarios. So yun, bilang manager or bilang candidate or nag-a-apply as a manager, bali ito yung parang ipapatest sa kanila yung mga standardized set of memos, required and policy, requests and policies, and so on. Dapat dito may interpret nila kung paano gawin iyon. Kasi dito mostly ito yung gagawin nila doon sa papasukan nila. Bali, bago pa sila makapasok doon, dapat ipakita na nila yung nalalaman nila or skills about sa topic na iyon. Next is yung tryout. Trials or auditions are very useful for selecting sales executive to demonstrate sales presentation and persuading potential clients. Yun dito naman sa tryout, trials or auditions. Diba mostly sa mga sales manager or salesman or sales executive, mostly sila nag-a-attract sila ng mga customer or clients or nagpa-pursue sila na na bumili ng isang bagay or nagma-market sila or para makuha yung isang customer, kailangan nilang mag-isip ng estratehiya kung paano sila ma-encourage na bumili yon. Dito sa test naman na ito, sa pamamagitan ng tryout, trials, or audition, bali dito na ipapakita ng isang sales or upcoming sales executive yung galing niya or yung kakayahan niya about dun sa topic na yun or about dun sa certain position na yun. Next naman is yung Excel application problems. Such formulas like VLOOKUP, pivot table, and concatenate, to name a few, that helps to validate values in the spreadsheets. That is very helpful and applicable for human resources and payroll positions and general accounting job. So yun naman sa number 3, bago maging applicable or makuha yung position as an human resource and payroll positions and the general accounting job, bali dapat may skills nila or may knowledge nila about sa mga Excel applications. Kasi mostly ito yung mga ginagamit nilang applications para mag-interact doon sa trabaho nila. Kasi kapag hindi nila alam ito, bali mahihirapan sila sa mismong pagtatrabaho na nila. Bali sa test na ito, tutulungan silang ipakita kung ano yung nalalaman nila. Tapos yung company na yung mag-evaluate kung papasok ba siya or hindi. Kung papasa pa siya or hindi na. Next is yung programming test on different languages like JavaScript for programmers and information technology positions. Yung dito naman sa programming test, mostly dito pumapasok yung mga programmers o yung may skills about sa computer, yung mga ganun na related. Kung gusto nila mag-apply about sa programmers positions o information technology positions, dapat knowledgeable sila sa mga different languages kasi mostly nag-interact sila sa mga codes kung saan yung mga yun lang yung nakakaalam yon, hindi pwedeng yung hindi kayang alamin ng ibang sector, ng ibang departments kasi nga may specific job ang bawat isa. Bali dito, para makapasok sa programmers and information technology positions, dapat knowledgeable sila doon kung gusto nilang pumasok doon sa specific na trabaho. Yan na po, next reporter na po.
Cognitive Ability Test. It measures ability to learn quickly, logical reasoning, and other long-lasting mental abilities that are very essential to accomplishments in many different jobs. So, sa cognitive ability test, nagsimula siya noong 19th century as a way or pamamaraan nila para ma-measure yung general mental ability, which is yung ability to learn quickly, logical reasoning, spatial awareness, etc. Sa ngayon, ginagamit siya ng mga HR bilang sa selecting process para ma-measure yung dalawang ability, which is the arithmetic and oral communications. The following can be used to measure the cognitive ability. Number 1 is Wechsler's Adult Intelligence Scale. Ito naman yung ginagamit para ma-measure yung intelligence ng adult nga. So dito tinitest yung skills and ability ng isang adult. So sa pag-take ng test na to or ng scale, it covers teenager from age of 16 through adulthood. So sa Wechsler's Adult Intelligence Scales is meron siyang 2 parts, which is the verbal section and performance section. The next one is number 2, Wonderlic Personnel Test. The Wonderlic Personnel Test, it measures general intelligence and mean intelligence in 3 main capabilities. First capability is verbal. Dito sa verbal capability, dito naman binibigyan ka ng certain words, tapos yung gagawin mo is pagkukumparahin mo sila to make a right choice doon sa multiple choice na sasagutan mo. Second part naman is numerical capability. Dito naman tinetest yung basic mathematical skills mo. The last one is spatial intelligence. Dito naman nakafocus siya sa imagination, visualization, and knowledge of basic geometric concept. Number 3, California Test of Mental Maturity. It is designed to measure the following types of mental ability, which is memory, spatial relationships, reasoning, and vocabulary. The scores are converted in IQ equivalent and profiles are developed for analyzing performance. Number 4, other cognitive test. Ito naman yung ibang various na applicable para ma-measure yung ability sa jobs or career. Yung una is Minnesota Paper Form Board Test or MPFB. Ginagamit siya para ma-measure yung special relations and applicable siya gamitin sa fine arts position, architects, and software engineering positions. Tapos, clerical aptitude is another cognitive ability na ginagamit in selecting people for clearing and secretarial jobs. Personality inventory and temperament test. Personality inventories, ito yung type of questionnaire na designed para mapakita o ma-reveal sa respondents yung personality traits nila. Dito din sa personality and inventories and temperament test, dito naman sa test na to, common na ginagamit yung Rorschach inkblot and thematic apperception test. Rorschach inkblot, ito yung ginagamit ng mga psychologists sa pag-examine ng personality characteristic and emotional functioning. Tapos sa thematic apperception naman, ito yung projective test designed to reveal a person's social drives or needs by their interpretation of a series of pictures and emotionally ambiguous situation.
I am PMA Pilapil reporting about factors to consider in selecting appropriate employment tests and test development to measure aptitudes and abilities. First one, factors to consider in selecting an appropriate employment. The type of employment test to be used varies on the type of employment being hired and their positions. For the broad variety of jobs and professions, ranging from lower to higher positions, cognitive ability test and widely used. Just sa factors of consider in selecting an appropriate employment. Siyempre, yung pinaka-importanteng questions dyan is, what factors would you consider most important in recruiting employees? Siyempre, as HR or manager of the company, you will make sure hiring top talent priority is productivity and profitability, depend on the quality of its work. Diyan na yung reviewing of candidates, consider mixed factors including the credentials or benefits of na makakuha mo sa isang employee. Working experience kung Siyempre nakakatulong yun sa company na maraming experience yung isang candidates para masustain niya yung benefits na makukuha niya sa isang credentials. And personality and skills, behavior niya sa company, need talaga makita yung attitudes na pinapakita ng isang employee. And yung skills and knowledge na makakontribute niya once na nag-start na siya sa pag-pursue ng ability niya sa company. And lalo na yung work experiences nila might be one of the most important considerations for the jobs of the company. Siyempre, kailangan i-test muna kung pasok ba sa qualifications yung employee or yung i-hire natin sa company. Need talaga natin suriin ng mabuti yung mga bawat applicant na i-hire natin. And yung bawat applicant or yung positions para hindi maka-affect sa working conditions nila. Kung yung lumabas sa test sa kanila na yung positions ay karapat-dapat sa kanila. Sometimes yung criteria characteristic, syempre, you have to be able to evaluate the selection criteria objectively and match the requirements of the jobs. Yun na nga yung sinasabi ko kanina, yung mga qualifications ng candidate, kung high school or college degree ba, helps to level of education, yung mga written or oral communications abilities nila, yung mga technical, mga professions qualifications. Next one, yung employment test, meron silang pros and cons. Yung sa una is physical ability test. Sa pros can be spot applicants who are physically not capable to perform vital jobs function. Siyempre sa pros or yung advantages ng isang HR or nagte-test, kailangan makita niya yung kung capable ba o kaya ba ng isang employee sa isang kaya ba ng isang candidates na masustain lahat ng or magawa niya, ma-perform niya ng mabuti yung ibibigay o naka-assign na task sa kanya. Tapos sa cons or yung disadvantages, parang dito is minsan pinipili lang based sa age or sometimes sa gender, kung babae o lalaki, nagiging bias sila pag sa physical ability test. Kasi pag lalaki ka, malakas ka, ganun. Pag babae ka naman, feminine ka o yung galaw mo, inobserbahan nila kasi parang weak yung babae pagdating sa mga task or yung mga, kasi mostly yung mga lalaki is magagaling sa mga critical thinking. And minsan may babae naman na nag-a-adjust or kaya nilang gawin. Sa job is second pala. Job knowledge and performance test. Pros. Depends on the particular skill being test, results will not fluctuate even the dependent variable in their gender and races. Sa job knowledge and parang dito lang yung mga performance mo lang na pinapakita mo sa isang workplace. Sa cons naman, not favorable to group administration does not help to evaluate aptitude to do more complex assignment that might encounter on the actual job. Parang dito, minsan nako-confuse ka kung ano yung mga dapat mong gawin. Ba't dapat makayanan mo yun pag nandun ka na sa workplace? The third one is for personal test can help lessen business cost by discovering personality, individual for hiring, promotion, and development who possess needs, skills, and abilities. Can be administered easily either computers. Parang dito, behavior lang to. About dun sa i-hire mo, kumbaga. Dapat kasi may pakikisama ka, hindi ka mapagmataas, and isa sa titignan ng HR yung behavior talaga or personality ng isang candidates or yung i-hire mo. Tsaka yung development and skills nila and abilities. Sa cons, questions may be disturbing against the norms of not validated. Result must end and discovery of mental disorders instead of assessing jobs related personality trends. Dito, personality test, parang yung ikaw na yung mag-recruit ka, tapos ikaw yung magbibigay ng questions na dapat masagutan nila ng maayos. But minsan, hindi na ginagawa. Kaya nasa con siya or disadvantage. Kasi minsan na nakikita nila na may mentally disorders yung isang empleyado or yung candidates na i-hire mo. Interview, ito yung pinakamahalaga sa factors considering the recruiting and selection. Pinaka-importanteng part ng sa HR, yung interview sa isang employee. Offer a jobs for a two-way trade of information, very convenient way to measure skills such as oral and verbal communication. With such as method cannot like paper, pencil, computer beside exams. Dito sa pros or yung advantages niya, parang dito yung mga informations is itatanong mo na sa kanya, mga background or skills niya, for the past years ng ng trabaho niya, kung may mga job experience siya, may mga knowledgeable siya about computers, na kaya niyang i-handle yung isang task once na nag-start na siya. Tapos yung mga test na kailangan niyang ipasa para dun sa qualified na positions para sa kanya. Cons naman is not practical to chosen a huge number of applicants to be evaluated. Interviewers must be trained and professional enough to deal with the job applicants. Minsan kasi dito, sa not practical to choose, parang minsan nagiging bias din sila kasi minsan kakilala nila yung HR or yung nagre-recruit sa kanila. Pag sa interview na, parang hindi na sila masyadong tinatanong about sa background nila about dun sa fast na trabaho nila, or yung minsan yung mga requirements nila is parang konti lang kasi nga kilala mo yung i-interviewin mo or related sa'yo. Minsan napakaswerte ng iba kasi hindi na masyadong ini-interview ng maayos, pero disadvantage pa rin yun or nasa pros kasi dapat maging professional ka as HR manager or recruiter kasi syempre kahit related din sa'yo, maging professional ka sa trabaho mo. Second one is cognitive ability test. Very convenient to predict applicants' job performance, mostly in a complex task that impacts organizational performance. Dito na yun, ka na dito, parang nakapasa ka na sa test or parang ikaw, empleyado ka na ng isang company na pinasukan mo. Then parang evaluation to or observation yan sa'yo, yung mga performance na gagawin mo is based dapat sa sa performance na ibibigay mo or yung task. Dapat naka-impact pa rin sa organizational performance or nakakapag-contribute ka sa company mo ng maayos at walang Cons, if company decided to make own cognitive ability tests rather than buying an existing, it will require a use per period of time developed and validate to achieve accuracy. Parang dito is parang ito na, binabalidate na yung mo. Ay, hindi na masyadong nababalidate minsan kasi sila, parang kulang sila sa oras. Parang hindi na masyadong nababalidate yung performance mo. Pero pag kilala ka or vibes mo yung manager or mag-i-interview sa'yo, isa rin siya sa disadvantage. Yung last is assessment centers. Parang dito, yung places kung saan yung mga new hire employees is dito sila nag-training. Sa pros, more convenient on the part of the employees due to availability of useful information or required training and development for prospective executives and supervisors. These translators are specialized on assessment and focus on the digging relevant behaviors and characteristics. Dito, parang importante talaga to na merong magandang assessment centers kasi yung equipment na magagamit nila is makakatulong sa'yo para mag-perform. Mas ma-perform mo pa ng better yung gagawin mo or yung makukuha mong knowledge about doon is may apply mo rin yun once nag-start ka na sa trabaho. Kasi meron silang mga equipment and mga discussions about sa mga trainings and na dapat mong malaman. And ituturo naman sa'yo once na nag-start ka na ng training. Sa cons, calls for a huge time to administer than most other techniques. too expensive to form and administer. It requires more people like evaluators and support staffs that other methods. Paano dito, kaya siya cons or disadvantage kasi maglalabas ka talaga ng malaking pera pag sa training. Kaya nga nakalagay dito, techniques too expensive to form and administer. Pero worth it naman yung lahat kasi 'di ba nakapasa ka na sa lahat ng test. And nag-assess ka na, ibig sabihin pasa ka na. Second one. Yung last topic ko is about tests developed to measure aptitudes and abilities. Ability is a person the talent to perform and mental and physical tasks and categorize either aptitudes and learned capabilities. Aptitudes are instinct talents that applicant in a person in an organization use in digesting detailed assignments, extra miles learned capabilities and expertise and information that people in the organization presently have. Dito lang yung parang tinetest lang yung ability mo and talent mo na ma-perform mo ng tama yung task mo sa sa workplace and yung mga talents mo na kailangan mong ilabas. Siyempre, yung sa paggagawa pa lang ng mga analysis or mga difficulties na assign sa'yo, dapat makayanan mo yun. Kaya nga sinasabi dito is capabilities to expertise and information in the organization. Dapat ilabas mo talaga yung mga tinatago mong galing. Kailangan mong ipakita sa kanila para ma-promote ka and mabigyan mo ng halaga lahat ng training na natutunan mo about dun sa employment test. Yun lang po. Thank you.
Good day, everyone. My report is about physical fitness and medical tests. If the organization uses medical information to make personal decisions, human practitioner must be develop a written policy on a physical fitness and medical testing to ensure compliance on relevant laws and local laws. We can define medical examination as a set of methods or tests that reveals information about an individual's physical condition and body health. Medical examinations are used to determine if a person can safely and adequately perform a specific job. Administering medical exam to job applicant or asking questions related to disability prior to making a job offer is prohibited. Once you make job offer to an applicant, you may require a medical exam as long as you require the exams of all persons entering the same job category. A medical exam may disqualify an individual who is deemed to be direct threat to the health and safety of self or others. Stricter rules apply for medical exam or inquiries of current employees. Medical records of all applicants and employees must be kept separate and from all other personal information. Careful adherence indicates that physical examination can be used to screen out unqualified individuals but generally should be required only after a conditional offer of employment has been made. So, physical fitness is a task may include a repetition maximum of strength-based exercises. It can also be defined as a state of physical well-being in which the individual is able to perform daily activities without problem. So, kaya nga nagkakaroon ng physical fitness test is to know if the person is capable doing things involve physical ability. It provides the doctor with valuable information about overall health and wellness. So, hindi lang tayo basta magkakaroon ng physical fitness test na basta lang may nagsabi sa'yo. Dapat galing din sa doktor or sa doktor ka nagpa-test. Galing din sa kanya yung result para malaman if yung overall health and wellness mo, para malaman if you are capable doing things na involve yung physical ability. Helps the fitness professional to measure, review progress, and develop a program to suit. So, ibig sabihin, physical fitness, hindi lang basta para malaman kung capable ka ba sa paggawa ng trabaho na involve ang physical ability. It also to measure and to develop a program to suit. Ibig sabihin kung ano ba yung mga program na pwede mong gawin or capable dun sa may result na ginawa mo after the physical test. It established the strength and weaknesses of the person. So yun nga, kapag nalaman mo na yung result about physical fitness, malalaman mo na at magkakaroon ka ng opportunity to strengthen kung ano man yung sinabi sa'yo ng doktor na kung halimbawa man hindi ka capable doing things na involve ang physical ability. So it can reduce your risk for resilience to accidental injury. So kapag nalaman mo na yung result ng physical test, syempre kung hindi ka nga naman capable dun sa gawain na yon, syempre iiwas ka na. So ang mangyayari, imbis na gawin mo pa yon, kahit na alam mong gawin mo pa yun kasi ginagawa mo yun kasi hindi mo alam kung kaya mo o hindi, ang nangyari is na-aksidente ka pa. So kapag alam mo yung result ng physical fitness test mo, kung capable ka ba na gawin yon, hindi mo na gagawin yun. So it reduces the accidental injuries. So the next one is medical test. It is a mental procedure performed to detect, diagnose, or monitor diseases or disease processes, susceptibility, or to determine a course of treatment. So just like the physical test, physical fitness test, yung medical test is to know also the immune system of the person if capable in that work or the company that they wanted to go through. So basic medical examination is CBC, urinalysis, 2-panel drug test, chest x-ray, physical exam, visual activity. So yung chest x-ray is common na ginagawang medical test. At saka yung drug test pala. Actually, lahat naman yun. Pero yung chest x-ray is just like really common. Kasi kailangan din siya sa katulad sa URS, di ba? Bago pumasok ang mga first year or freshman bago sila mag-enroll, they're required to have their medical test, which the drug test and the chest x-ray. So health problems can be detected an early stage before they develop into something much more serious. So kaya nga nagkakaroon ng medical test is to determine a course of treatment na kung ang result man ay meron kang problema is to cure it immediately. It also to prevent serious illness to like cancer, preventing health problems from becoming chronic. So yun nga, kaya nagkakaroon ng medical test. Kung meron ka nga naman sakit is to cure it immediately and hindi na yun lumala. And of course, syempre, alangan naman na the company is not aware, hindi maging aware kung ano man yung meron na sakit ka. Parang, how they can give you a work na suitable lang sa immune system mo or capable ka lang doon na gawin yun if they are not know yung about sa health mo. So the next one is important issues regarding drug and alcohol testing in the workplace. Current use, possession, of distribution of illicit drug does not qualify as a disability. We may prohibit the use of such drug at the workplace, and we may administer drug tests to applicants and employees alike. So yung drug test nga is nakasama siya sa basic medical examination. Before employment of applicant, employers require medical examination and drug test with a panel requirement before deployment. So ito nga yun yung include sa medical test. we may deny employment to an applicant to discharge an employee currently engaged in illegal drug use. So, kaya nga, pagka nagkakaroon ng medical test at ang lumabas sa may drug test mo is positive, you are not allowed to go to work. Siyempre naman, ang mga company, they are not, di naman nila kukonsintihin yung kanilang mga empleyado na ipagpatuloy yung mga maling ginagawa nila, especially yung pagiging addictive nila sa illegal drugs. In modern society, safety and privacy interests frequently seem to conflict, particularly in the workplace. A drug-free workplace policy is when a state encourages workplace drug testing regulation, or when a state has legislated to restrict or regulate certain aspect of drug testing in the workplace. So, ito nga, nagkakaroon ng drug testing. Kahit na, nung pumasok ka is negative ka sa drug testing. Pero nagkakaroon kasi ng after 6 months ata na expired yung mga medical examination. So, magkakaroon na naman ng another medical examination which is include nga yung drug test doon. Kung nag-positive ka na sa medical drug test na kinandak nung nagtatrabaho ka na, pwede kang matanggal. Kasi nga, hindi naman tinotolerate ng mga company yung mga ganong bagay. Kasi nga, it's illegal. Dadagdag ko lang dito sa important issues regarding drug and alcohol testing. Nagkakaroon din ng, yung alcohol testing naman is parang during nagtatrabaho ka na. Katulad dito sa solid cement. Tuwing umaga, nagkakaroon ng alcohol testing, which is kung nakainom ka, tas di ba may test sila, tas ang result nga, mayroon kang hangover, you are not allowed to go to work. Ibig sabihin, kung halimbawa, masususpend ka ng 1 month, 6 months, ganun, or 1 month, 6 months, 3 months, yun yun ang pinakamatagal, 6 months. So, paminsan, nagkakaroon ng, nagde-decide ang company, kung paulit-ulit ka na, paulit-ulit na ginagawa mo yun, palagi sa results sa alcohol testing mo is, palaging may hangover ka. Siyempre, magde-decide ang company na tanggalin ka na lang. At meron din tendency na mababan ka na sa company na yun, which is hindi ka na pwedeng magtrabaho doon. Meron din silang tinatawag na katulad lang din ng parang drug related siya, drug and sa alcohol, which is a cigarette. Bawal ka na magsigarilyo in the wrong place sa work mo. Meron silang parang cigarette area, which dun ka lang pwedeng magsigarilyo. At kapag nahulihan ka din nila ng sigarilyo, nagdadala ng sigarilyo sa trabaho mo, magkakaroon din yun ng consequences, which is kung masususpendi ka man ng ilang buwan, or hindi ka na makakabalik sa trabaho mo, or hindi ka na makakapag-apply ulit sa company nila. So, syempre, kaya nagkakandak ng mga ganitong test ang company to ensure their employee are makakapag-perform ng kanilang task ng maayos. Syempre, kung hindi ka nga naman, kung ikaw naman ay nagdadrugs nga naman at ikaw ay high, paano mo magagawa ang trabaho mo? Kung ikaw din ay nakainom, paano mo magagawa ang trabaho mo ng maayos? Which is meron kasing parang distraction sa kanila to do such things na kailangan nilang gawin in the workplace. Siyempre, makaka-apekto yun sa performance nila and of course, the overall performance of the company.
So, assessment centers, organization use assessment centers to help them perform the following human resource Function Shock, U.S. Department of Labor, Employment and Training Administration, 1999. First is program evaluation. Helps the organization to determine whether employees are benefiting and gaining from training and development programs. So, program evaluation, ito yung evaluate mo yung employees mo kung nag-gain ba sila ng benefits or nag-improve sila ng training na na-implement mo. Next is career guidance. Help organization to choose employees to embrace professional growth. So, sa career guidance, for the word guidance, ayan nga yung tumutulong sa organization na mag-help kung saan ba dapat nila ilagay yung ganitong skills na mayroon ang employee or saan ba dapat i-place or i-position ang mga employee na yan. So, next, promotion. Help organization to identify employees who possess managerial and higher level capabilities that help to position people on great duties and responsibility. So, promotion, ito yung ginagawa ng organization. Ni-evaluate nila yung mga employee, kung may mga employee ba napasok na pwedeng mag-perform sa pinaka-high level. So, if the employee can perform that, pwede nila iyon i-promote. So, promotion, mag-evaluate sila, titignan nila kung capable ba yung employee na mag-perform ng ganong job. At the same time, tinutulungan nila ang employee mag-improve sa skills at knowledge na meron sila. At ang promotion, tinatawag siya na internal recruitment. Ibig sabihin, sa loob ng company. So, pag internal, magpo-post lang yung organization sa loob ng company, sa bulletin board, na ganun job vacancy. At maghahanap sila ng employee na interest at kaya mag-work sa ganung skills at jobs. So, minsan kasi pinipili ng organization mag-internal recruitment or promotion kasi mas less costly. Kasi sa recruitment, external, na mag-hire pa sila, mag-interview pa sila. Hindi katulad sa promotion na sa loob lang ng organization. Kilala mo na ang employees, i-undergo mo na lang siya sa training and development. So next, training and development. Aids organization to identify employees who needs basic or higher training. They are designed and modified training programs tailored to the needs of organization. So, training and development, so yun yung procedure na titignan ng organization yung mga employee nila kung ano ba ang need na training or ano ba ang need na development para sa isang employee. Training and development, magkaiba sila eh. Yung training, adding skills, bibigyan ka nila ng skills na wala ka pa. Yung development is development nga. I-develop lang nila and i-improve lang nila yung skills na meron ka. So, training and development, tinutulungan ng organization yung mga employees nila to determine kung saan ba dapat sila kailangan mag-improve and at the same time, nag-i-improve din yung skills at knowledge na meron yung employee mo sa loob ng organization. Next is selection. Assessment centers properly development tools that provides ways to select successful applicants, shock salespeople, and effective workers in other occupations. So, sa selection, may tinatawag tayo, di bang, recruitment and selection. Sa recruitment, ayan yung mag-job posting ka. Maghahanap ka pa lang ng mga applicant. Sa selection naman, ayun na yung magsaselect ka, na interview mo na, napatest mo na. So, sa selection, doon mo na pipiliin kung sino ba sa mga applicants na pasok sa ganitong position. So, next, personality test. A large number of employees make use of personality test and consider as first level of screening job applicants. In the Philippines, personality tests are mostly used as a determinant of hiring. Applicants must take personality tests before taking an examination or interview. Personality tests are tools or instruments used to gauge and determine the attitudes, interpersonal, motivational, and emotional individuality. So, ang personality test ay ito ang ginagamit para sa large of number ng employee bilang isang unang hakbang para sa screening ng isang applicant sa trabaho. At ang personality test, commonly na ginagamit sa pag-hiring sa Pilipinas at bago sila mag-examination or interview, kailangan muna nila kumuha ng personality test. At ang personality test ay ginagamit o instrumento ng isang organization para i-assess at evaluate nila yung interpersonal, motivational, and emotional at attitude ng isang applicants. The following are the benefits of using personality tests. Bad hiring decision cause employer to suffer significant economic losses such as debt, emotional disorders, and prohibited drugs users, to name a few. The result of personality tests will critique an applicant. Honestly, we can also tell that the job applicant has a propensity towards harassment and violent behavior. Also, it helps to project if the applicant will have tendency to engage in substance abuse. So, may mga bad hiring decision na nangyayari sa isang organization. At ito ay nagkakos sa employee na nagsasuffer sila sa mga hindi magaganda na gawain. Kaya ang personality test ay isang benefit para sa isang organization kasi ito ay makakatulong para malaman mo kung yung isang applicant ay may violent behavior. At ang personality test, it helps sa proyekto kung ang isang applicant ba ay mayroong tendency to engage in substance abuse. Next, personality tests help us reduce turnover. Looking for new employees due to bad hiring decision is very costly. A job posting on internet and other social media consume times assistance of headhunters and referral incentives. So, we can minimize turnover by using personality tests. It is very expensive to hire new workers as a result of bad hiring decision. A job posting on the internet and other social media platforms take times, resources, and referral incentives. So, here is a simple computation how a headhunter is being paid. So, ayan yung simple computation. Makikita nyo naman po. Yan. So, next is character reference information are not significant enough or meaningful to interpret and consider. Most of the companies will only provide common information such position she hold during their time, reason of leaving or resignation, and exclusive dates of employment. Personality test is the alternative way to arrive to accurate information when people managers are facing complicatedness to get a true and good appraisal of an applicant work of the job record. So, ang character reference hindi ito sapat at consider. Karamihan kasi sa company ay nagbibigay ng karaniwang info tulad ng position, reason of leaving or resignation, and inclusive dates of employment. When people manager are having difficulty getting accurate and good appraisal of an applicant's work or job record, a personality test is an alternative way to get accurate information. So, yun lang po yung aming report. Thank you po.